looks like the 84 Danny Butler got some good news as Rob Lozniak will be unable to start this main event. That'll put Dan Butler up into a qualified position as Lozniak forced to sit out with mechanical difficulties. So one driver's misfortune is another driver's good luck. In this case, Danny Butler comes out the winner with car number 84. He'll pick up at the tail end of the field while up in front. Dean Click and Scott Cook look for Danny Cornway's green flag. Field looks to wind him up through the turns as Dean Click, the first on the throttle, as he looks to make his way down to turn number 1. Here comes the 29 of Donald Burge. Burge battling with the 1 of Scott Cook for the runner-up position. The field runs tightly bunched down the 300-foot long straightaway into turn number 3. The field stacks him up out of turn number 4. Soup Savardi in a fine run with the 9 Connecticut. He's moving to challenge for third, pulling up alongside Donald Burge. Then we have 3 wide for the next spot is Jeff Cook, Crazy Charlie, and Jim Babalacco. All look for a little racing room out of turn number 2. Meanwhile, new leader looks to emerge out of turn number 4 as Scott Cook looks to take over control of this main event. Cook now leading Soup Savardi in the 9 Connecticut. Dean Click settling back into the 3rd spot. Now being challenged up high by Donald Burge in the 29. Crazy Charlie and Jeff Cook swap a little paint out of turn number 4. Everybody stays pointed in the right direction. Meanwhile, Soup Savardi looking for the lead. Savardi takes over out of turn number 2. Savardi working his way past Scott Cook. Donald Burge now setting up to challenge for the runner-up position. Pulling down low alongside Cook into turn number 1. Dean Click battling with Jim Babalacco. Then it's Jeff Cook in the 63. Crazy Charlie. The field working the way out of turn number 4. This time by, they look to click off lap number 5. Soup Savardi with about a 3-car length advantage over Donald Burge. Savardi looking for his first ever Limited Sportsman main event win. Savardi has quite a few wins on Sunday afternoons with the Alfa Romeo. However, finds himself out in front in Limited Sportsman round action. 6 laps now scored as complete. Donald Burge, a rookie driver in car number 29, doing a fine job about 4 car lengths behind Savardi. Scott Cook now running the 3rd spot with Jim Babalacco right at his back bumper. Babalacco smoking rather heavily with car number 20 Junior. Then it's Jeff Cook in the 63 and the 40 of Paul Dorothy. Those 2 drivers looking to swap places on the backstretch. As Jim Babalacco coming to life with the 20 Juniors, he's moving up alongside Scott Cook. And Reed Jr. loose on the front stretch. Nice save as Reed looks to rejoin the field. However, he's a long way back from where he'd been running with a Perry Motors-sponsored Chevrolet. Out of turn number 4, Savardi looks to click off lap number 9 as Babalacco and Scott Cook battle for that 3rd position. Paul Dorothy looks to close in to join the hunt with car number 40. Dorothy moving into the 4th spot, up in front of Babalacco. Halfway marker coming out this time around. Be 10 down, 10 to go as we've got trouble. As the 47 of Ted Chafee, and it looks as though it's the 63 of Jeff Cook. Off the speedway on the backstretch, Soup Savardi and rookie Donald Burge up in row number 1. Row 2, Scott Cook and the 40 of Paul Dorothy. Out of turn number 4, Burge has the bite, however, Soup Savardi looks to be the first driver to make his way down to turn number 1. Burge settling down that runner-up position. Keep your eyes on Ernie LaRose. LaRose on the move with a 22. Dean Click in trouble with a 07. Add in the 9 of Eric Webster. Caution is out on the speed. Rookie up in row number 1, Savardi. And Donald Burge up in row number 1. Savardi looking for the green flag. Savardi looking for his first. We've got trouble on the front stretch as Ted Chafee and the 40 of Paul Dorothy run into trouble. Chafee losing a tire on the 47 as he comes to a halt through the turns. And lap number 10 into the record book. Scoreboard continues to hold at 9 complete. 1 lap shy of the halfway mark. Soup Savardi, Donald Birch. Try it one more time up in row number 1. Savardi looks to jump out front down to turn number 1. Here comes Scott Cook in the 1, making his way past Donald Birch. Birch a little loose as Paul Dorothy as we look to jam him up on the backstretch. Caution is out of the speedway as we Skip Baranchek continues to check with scorers up here in the booth as we look to realign the field. Crazy Charlie, the next driver, off with the 52. Then it's Walt Sucker, mile oval. Paul Dorothy back out with the 40. Gambino looks as though nothing ever happened to the 83. They got the sheet metal welded back on that automobile. Once again, we look to get lap number 10 into the record books. The field plays a little bumper tag on the backstretch into turn 3. Danny Cordaway extends the field off as Soup Savardi once again gets the bite down to turn number 1. Scott Cook moving into the runner-up position. Bud Kuehne on the move with the 38. Kuehne moving into that 3rd position. He looks to be challenging Scott Cook down low for the runner-up spot. Out of turn number 4, it's Soup Savardi, Bud Kuehne, and Scott Cook. Donald Birch back to the 4th spot. Now he's back to the 5th position as Louis Belial makes his way on by through the turns. Just at the halfway mark, 10 laps down, 10 laps remaining as Soup Savardi leading Bud Kuehne. Kuehne back after a week's absence with a Schumacher Construction sponsored Chevrolet. Savardi working down low with car number 9, Connecticut. Kuehne working a higher line around the 1/3 mile oval. Savardi has the advantage down to turn number 1. Kuehne testing the waters on the 9, Connecticut, this time by working down low. Savardi able to close the door into turn number 3, lap number 13. Coming up this time around is Soup Savardi leading Bud Kuehne at the line. Kuehne continues to eat away at Savardi's advantage as Bud Kuehne now takes over the lead. Kuehne leading Savardi and Louis Belial. Got trouble over at turn number 2 as Scott Young, and it looks as though Dean Click run into trouble over at turn number 2. Caution is back out into the record books this time around. 20 is the magic number. 6 laps remaining as Bud Kuehne and Soup Savardi work up in row number 1. Savardi off to a slow start, a little high out of turn number 4. That's going to cost him dearly as Louis Belial able to work on by, as has Ed Reed Jr. and Scott Cook. Ed Reed Jr., after starting at the tail end of the fields, worked his way up to 3rd. 5 laps remaining. This time by as Bud Kuehne leads Louis Belial and Ed Reed Jr. A mad scramble to the front. Everybody looking to improve their position. Joe Cambino, car number 83, goes around over in turn number 4. Caution once again back out on the speedway. Caution coming out. Belial up in row number 1. Ed Reed Jr. up to 3rd. Soup Savardi starts up alongside. Out of turn number 4. Bud Kuehne continues as your leader. We've got trouble up in front as Ed Reed Jr. losing the wheel on the 27X. The front half of the field able to make it by unscathed. However, the back half of the field not quite so lucky. That tire continues to roll out of turn number 2. Ron Angiolo involved with car number 43. Looks as though Mike Alferio involved with the 3X. John Faulkner in the stretch of drivers pick up the pace into turn number 3. A fast start through the turns. Bud Kuehne and Louis Belial work their way out of turn number 4. Kuehne and Belial side by side through the turns. Kuehne looks to pull it out down the 300-foot long back straightaway. Belial proving to be equal to the task as he works up high. Soup Savardi now moving into challenge as well. Bud Kuehne once again back out in front, 16 laps into the record books. Once again right on Kuehne's back bumper with the 38. Savardi maintains the third position, 2 to go marker out this time around as Bud Kuehne looking for feature win number 2 tonight, car number 38. Louis Belial continues to work on Kuehne's back bumper. About 5 car lengths separating second and third. White flag coming out this time around. The field working their way through the turns is Donald Burge going around over at turn number 2. The field forced to scatter as caution once again is out on the speed. 2 on the season. Louis Belial right alongside another feature winner in 1994. Then it's Soup Savardi in the 9. And the 9 of Eric Webster right alongside. Out of turn number 4, the field looking for the green. Bud Kuehne continues to work his way through the turns, pulling out in front of Louis Belial. Belial right on Kuehne's back bumper. We've got trouble on the backstretch. Caution continues. Some of the cars involved, the 94 of Charles Bailey, the 83 of Joe Kuehne.
Next Saturday night, the month of September championship, extra laps for all 3 divisions. And next Saturday night, we start racing at 5 p.m. as usual. Plus, the rescheduled Legends event set for next Saturday night. Rescheduled from back in the month of August. But fresh back from his honeymoon, picks up his 2nd win of the year. And the Shaw Mac Construction Cliffs Garage. Ray's Welding. Nichols Used Auto and Truck Pots and Topper Engines, sponsored number 38, finds his way to Victory Lane, all part of the Sunoco Racing Fuel sponsored night at the Waterford Speedbowl. Well, Bud Kuehne's first words, how's this for a wedding present? Well, I'm sure the present Mrs. Kuehne is going to be very happy and ready to celebrate when the night has ended. Emerges victorious, right back from his honeymoon. All right, Bud, baby. Nice way to celebrate. You can't ask for much better than this.
No, thank you very much. What a gift from my wife for a wedding present.
Yeah, but did she give you the race car?
Oh, no.
Well, I'll tell you, but it's got to feel pretty good. You got a lot of folks that have been willing to help out. They've been back and forth all year long with you. You got a lot of folks working in the pit area. It just helps, works wonders when you can pick up your 2nd feature win of the year. The car's running super good. Is number 3 on the horizon?
Well, I hope so. I don't know how many races left, 3 or 4. We're going to try again.
Anybody in particular you want to say thanks to?
I'd like to thank Ray Downing, the owner, my wife, Patty, my new wife, Patty, and everybody that helps.
Well, you know, Ray did a pretty good job last week. He kind of stayed out of trouble, was there all night long. So I'm sure that went along to keeping the car in good form for tonight's competition. But again, you got a few more races. Things look pretty good. New wife, bright beginning for Bud Kuehne and Company.
Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner tonight's Sunoco Racing Fuel sponsored 20-lap Limited Sportsman feature event, Bud Kuehne, driving car number 38.